Welcome back to Morning Joe. Beautiful live picture on a Friday morning at the United States Capitol. Joining us now from Houston, Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota. Senator, good morning. Good to see you. You got some good reviews last night for your performance. The case you made seemed to me to sort of be boiled down to your line where you said, you know what? This race is full of extremes. There are people on the left. There's Donald Trump over on the other side. If you find yourself somewhere in the middle, you've got a home with me. That's sort of the space, though, that Joe Biden occupies as well. So putting Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders to the side for a moment, how do you set yourself apart from Joe Biden, and why are you a better candidate for president?
I think what I said exactly was if you feel stuck in the middle between the extremes and you're tired of the noise and the nonsense, and there's a lot of people in our own party, in the Democratic Party, that feel like that, in addition to independents, moderate Republicans. So here's my thing. One, I'm actually from the Midwest, right next door to Wisconsin, which is such a key state, and have that ability to win Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Iowa, key states that we lost in 2016. Secondly, I'm one of only 3 women on that stage, which I think is important. And the final thing is, I've been working through this Trump era, and I've shown an ability to navigate it, which I can make the case to voters, passing over 30 bills where I'm the lead Democrat. But also, and I think this is the most important, I have seen the impact on regular people, whether it's farmers that can't sell their soybeans, who are closing the door and crying when the media is not there, telling me they don't think they're going to be able to keep their farm, or whether it is people of color and immigrants who feel like every day they go out there now, someone's going after them because of the rhetoric from Donald Trump.
I hear all that, and let's say I'm a Democratic voter, though, and I'm thinking about you and Joe Biden, because I think you do occupy some of a similar space in the sense that you're moderate and you don't support some of the ideas on health care, for example, that Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders do. And I say, well, Joe Biden's way up there at the top of the polls. Looks like he probably has a better shot at winning the nomination and maybe at beating Donald Trump. How do you answer that?
I say people have to get to know me, and that's what that debate last night was about. Before, we were all fragmented in these debates, and it really gave me an opportunity to make that case that I don't want to be a president for just half the country. I want to be the president for all the country, and taking it to some of these ideas. I don't do it personally. I'm friends. Bernie and I came in together. We've worked together, as I pointed out last night, on pharmaceutical issues, but you know, he keeps saying he wrote the bill. Well, I read that bill, and on page 8 of that bill, it says that we're going to kick everyone off their insurance, 149 million people, in 4 years. And that's why I was the only one up on that stage that's in the Senate that didn't sign on to that bill, because I read it and I thought, man, this is not going to be what people need. We need to bring down the cost of insurance with a public option, which is a competitive nonprofit option.
You know, it's interesting, Senator Klobuchar, and I know you've probably seen this when you've been watching debates at home. You wonder why candidates don't have a certain retort back. And throughout the first 2 debates, Bernie kept saying, "I wrote the damn bill," and I kept wanting somebody to go, "Yeah, that's the problem." Well, you pretty much said it last night. You said you wrote the bill, but I read the bill, and you said about the 149 million Americans getting taken off of their insurance plans in 4 years. You said, I don't think that's a bold idea. I think that's a bad idea. Are you surprised that moderators over the first 3 debates and other Democrats on the stage have given Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders the free pass that they've given them on this very expansive idea? Again, if you're a progressive and you think we can afford that, God bless you. I think it adds to the debate and maybe helps find a more sensible middle ground. So that's their beliefs, and I have great respect for them for having those beliefs. I'm just surprised that, other than you, there just hasn't been a lot of pushback on an unworkable plan that would bankrupt America.
Well, I wanted to do it in the last debate, actually, and I don't think I got a question for 20 minutes. I kept saying, hey, hey. And I think they decided, well, they're going to go to Congressman Delaney and Governor Bullock, and they tried. But I have a different perspective because I actually was there for the Affordable Care Act debate. I got my start, as I noted last night, in politics because of what happened to me when I was kicked out of the hospital in 24 hours when our daughter was really sick in the hospital. And those things form my view that you've got to have universal health care, but you've got to do it in a smart way that makes it more affordable, building on the Affordable Care Act, taking on those pharmaceutical prices, which I've been doing since I've gotten to the Senate. So I consider my ideas bold, and I think what happened last night is they seem to have had monopoly on saying, well, this is a bold and exciting new idea, and you guys don't have anything to offer. A number of us came back and said, that's not true. We have bold ideas. There's problems with your ideas. And that debate has to happen, but it doesn't have to be personal.
You know, in talking to colleagues about the Democratic field, your name always comes up as one of the stronger candidates. But you've got a handful of candidates who are still beating you in the polls. So in terms of leadership skills, what differentiates you from Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris? What makes you better?
You can just look at the numbers of all of the candidates that are still in the Senate. I have passed by far the most bills. And, you know, that should matter. Over 100 bills where I'm the lead Democrat on things that are important, like drug shortages and helping our veterans with the latest scourge coming out of Afghanistan and Iraq, burn pits, taking a lead on infrastructure issues like rural broadband. Those are bread and butter issues that once the voters out there get to know me will actually see that I'm someone that just doesn't have plans. I actually get things done and have deadlines. Otherwise, I don't know why you'd run for this job. So that is a case that I'm going to continue to make, as well as bringing in and making that case. You don't just want someone that can win, Mika. You want someone that can win big. Because when you look at those Senate races that are up in Colorado and in Arizona and in Alabama, you want someone that has a track record of bringing people with them. And that's what I have done. I've won every congressional district, the reddest of red ones, in my own state every single time. And that ability to speak to those voters has got to be something that our Democrats consider, because they did it in 2018. They put up really good candidates that were able to win in states like Kansas and Wisconsin, and we can do that again. But we have to have that be one of the factors that we look at, and that's a case that I can uniquely make.
Senator Amy Klobuchar, thank you, as always, for being on the show with us.
Thank you. Hi, Claire. It was
Hi,
good to hear
Amy.
you.
They wouldn't let me talk to you. You had a great night.
We're friends. It would be a
All
bias.
right, Claire, say hi.
No.
All right.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.